Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Soldiers of Shoot. Sitting to my left, the one and only, the famous Hollywood Edwards. How you doing tonight, Hollywood?
Doing great. Coming off Raw here. I'm pumped to do this.
And sitting to my right, it is the captain of chaos, AC. What's happening, my brother? What is going on? You're in Twitter wars all night. It's crazy out there, bro.
I mean, it's.
I got your six. I got your six, bro. But man, oh, man.
I know it's not easy arguing with morons, but sometimes you just got to do it. But what's up, guys? I'm just glad I'm on a show with somebody else and not doing a solo again this week.
Feels good, doesn't it?
It does. You guys have been doing tremendous work, by the way. Tremendous.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. You as well, sir.
A little rusty, but we're getting there.
Yeah, it's coming together.
So, bro, a little different Raw show tonight. I have to admit that I thought that there was a better feel to the show tonight than the last few weeks. And let's open it up right now with the big dog. He's back. He came in the ring. He did it. What are your thoughts, guys, on Roman Reigns in remission, beating cancer? And, dude, one thing I'll say about it is I was very happy to see that the crowd was really into the guy. I was afraid. I said to you, Hollywood, earlier today, are we going to hear you faked cancer chants and shit like that? And you said no, and you were right. The crowd really embraced the guy, and I was glad to see that.
Same here. I mean, there were some you faked cancer shit going on Twitter. Swaggy can talk to that if he wants to. But, yeah, I thought it was good news. I got to tell you, I don't know about you two guys, but the way he was looking around, soaking up the moment, I thought, oof, when he gets in the ring, what is he going to say? Like, he had me nervous there for a second.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, all in all, good news.
Yeah, it gave that vibe at first of, you know, even when he kind of had that pause before he actually stepped in the ring,
and
he was kind of like looking at it, and I'll tell you what, I got goosebumps a couple times after all that. But there was a little nerves in there. I'm like, man, is this guy coming to the ring to retire? I mean, that would have been tough to hear.
Yeah, my mind was going there looking at him.
We got the good information, of course, and I mean, I like the spot. I'm glad they opened with it. I'm glad they got right to it. I mean, this day and age, you get the realism. And I said this to you via text. If you could watch that spot and not have some kind of feeling for that guy, I got to question who you are as a person. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Let's forget. We're probably gonna trash some things. We might like some things from here on out. But we're talking about real life right now.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about a person's life, a father, a son, you know, and that was just good to hear. And who knows what happens with Roman Reigns, the character, from here on out. But I just hope, you know, Joe, the man, is healthy from here on out.
You're talking about Joe White, I presume. You hope he's healthy?
I didn't want to mispronounce the last name. Hawaii.
There you go.
Edwards always says it right. You know me, when I always pronounce names wrong, and I'm like, damn, I don't want to fuck this up. I'm just going to say Joe.
Well,
I'm just going to say Joe.
You just nailed it there. Good job.
And I'm gonna no sell that other color because that color is on my shit list right now.
Well, bro, it's sad. It really is because, and you said it right, the character of Roman Reigns. And it's pathetic that as you watch the tweets and see the comments down there, even on the Wrestling Inc. articles or whatever the dirt sheet is, you have people that can't detach from the character of Roman Reigns. It's absolutely mental. I mean, it's absolutely mental. It's a character. It would be as if they were coming out and railing against Winnie the Pooh. There's really no difference. It's a character. It's a fictitious character, and they can't separate Roman from Joe. It's crazy.
It's scary. It's actually scary.
It is scary. And just quick, because I know that Joe is listening to us anyway. Joe, bro, you pissed me off tonight, and I'm not going to get over it. You showed your true colors, and this was the point. because you're a genius, you can't figure this out. Let me spell this out for you. In October, he had the title, the Universal title. He went into the ring and relinquished the title. You all forget that. All you haters forget that. Oh, it's a work. Oh, it's cancer. Okay, so this is what, to you guys, this is what you would have done, Joe from Virginia. This is what you would have done, okay? You would have wanted them to just say, Roman Reigns relinquished the title. No storyline, no nothing. He just had to go home because you wanted it to be kept a secret, right? So it wouldn't affect the show and the storylines. Okay, so Roman Reigns relinquished the title tonight, and we're not going to tell you why. There he goes out the door, and you have no idea why until the next day when every mainstream media source is reporting on why he relinquished the title. And you would have found out anyway. So all this talk about, oh, they should have kept it a secret. Oh, they used it to get him over. He's using it to get himself over. It's bullshit. You're not thinking. You're not thinking, haters. And it's because you hate. It's because you hate the guy. So congratulations. You hate a real man that's playing a character on TV. Congratulations. Good for you. Don't at me anymore on Twitter. Leave me out of your stupid conversations, Joe. Okay? I'm done. Go ahead, Captain.
No, and I was just gonna say, not only that, but does anybody out there? Let's be real here for a second. Do you think he, laying in a hospital bed or getting cancer treatment or going through whatever he had to go through, and I'm sure he had to, get himself back into shape and everything else, and sit down with his daughter and tell his daughter that Daddy has this disease, but could be trouble. Who knows? We don't know what that conversation was like. But do you honestly think in any of those moments that Joe Anoa'i gave a flying fuck what Joe White, Daddy Cool AC, what Captain of Swag AC, Plating for Truth, Hollywood Edwards, DJ Stames, anybody on the SOS, anybody on the internet, anybody that's not close to himself and his whole family, do you think he honestly gives a flying fuck what you think about his on-screen character during that time?
Probably not.
And not only that, if the guy didn't, they're all getting into, I want him to love the business, and I want him to do this for the business and this and that. He could have sat home till after WrestleMania, really got himself in shape, waited till WrestleMania was over. Think about this. This guy is back already. We didn't know if or when he'd come back. This is months later. Months. What is it? 4 months?
Yep.
Oh, come on. I don't care if you like the on-screen character of the guy or not. That crowd was cheering for the man in that opening segment. And we could talk about the other spot that he had later on and whether that was real or what, the pop he got. But at the end of the day, that it's just a real life thing. In any other sport, a big name athlete, and you're talking about top 3 in the game right now.
Sure, yeah.
Wrestling superstars.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if the top 3 player in the NBA, if Kevin Durant got cancer, what do you think? How do you think people would react to that? How do you think people would react when he got back to the basketball court?
They should have kept it a secret.
So yeah, why should Roman Reigns or Joe Anoa'i be treated any different than any other athlete? That's crazy to me. I just don't understand it. I don't understand the logic. You know what? All those guys out there like White who say all this crap, and I was gonna no-sell his name all night, but we talked about it, so just throw it out there.
Yep.
That say all this crazy shit like that. You are the clowns giving wrestling and wrestling people and wrestling fans a bad name. You're the dipshits that, when I'm waiting in line to get into an NEW show, talk about these guys like it's real life. Get a fucking clue, please. And please, if you're going to use terms like social justice warrior or soccer mom or whatever other terms you're going to use, at least know the fucking definition. At least know the definition, please. All right, I'm done.
Go ahead.
Here's the other side of it too, is that a lot of these guys who think they're the smart marks, the wrestling fan that knows everything, okay, and they'll say, well, I like a guy who loves the business and knows the business. Look, if you've ever seen this guy do an interview, This guy knows the business. This guy loves the business. This guy is from a family of professional wrestling royalty. He gets it. For you not to like that guy, there's something wrong with you. If you're really a wrestling fan and you're really a fan of the business and you love the business, this guy is that business.
Well
There's
said.
no reason
Well
for
said.
you to dislike
Yes.
him. The only reason you dislike him is because you dislike his character. Get over it, you stupid bastard.
Or you dislike it because you don't like how his character's booked and shoved down his throat. Or
That's
shoved
not
down your
his
throat.
fault.
Well, here's
Right,
what you
that's-
do. Yeah, if
we
you're
talk-
if you're
we
that
talk-
person, then at WWE Vince McMahon or whatever the hell his handle is, and you go wish death upon him. Okay,
Yeah.
there you
He's the
go.
one booking it.
He's the reason why you don't like John Cena. He's the reason why you don't like Roman Reigns. He's the reason why you don't like the product right now. No, there's a lot of talented guys out there that are being misused. So it's all right to bitch about Vince McMahon when it comes to Shinsuke Nakamura, but when Roman Reigns is misused, it's his fault. It's his fault.
Right.
How is that even logical? It doesn't
It's
make
not.
it doesn't
not,
make
no.
any sense at all. You know what? This is the honest to God truth, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about it, and you guys could go on or we could move on, whatever. This is my last thing. A guy like White lives in the same reality as Ferrara. He lives in the same reality as Melvin Dassey. He can't separate life from fiction. He can't make that separation. It's the same shit we used to talk about with Ferrara.
Yep.
White is now in that category. End of story.
Ricochet and Aleister Black versus the Revival was our second match. And guys, it's a good enough match, but this is the second week in a row that we've seen the Revival lose. They're the tag team champions.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Swag, you sent me a text. Boy, these tag champs are looking great. Element, FAO. Boy, I go back to it. There's got to be a reason they're trying to make these guys look super strong before Mania. What is that reason? These NXT guys. What is that reason?
I can't follow it, bro. I really can't. And you guys have said on other shows that I like NXT. That's true. I really do. I don't get this. And I don't get putting these men in this spot. I don't understand where they're going with all this.
In both matches, you saw Chad Gable and Bobby Roode in the back watching on the monitor the match. The funny thing to me is the Revival beat them for the titles. These guys haven't wrestled since, and the Revival's getting beat, but Gable and Roode, they're not getting beat. I mean, I don't understand any of it, bro. I really don't.
It's tough to see what the actual reason is for these NXT guys to be up. They brought up a bunch of guys a few months ago, have done nothing with them. Now they're bringing up these guys, and it seems to me like they're giving them a push.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to where?
That's what I can't see. I can't
We'll
see
put
the
them
end.
in a tag match together, or Ricochet's been on Raw twice in tag matches. Now they've won the matches, but why is he on Raw? What is his reason? I don't know, man. It's just to me, I don't know if they're trying to sell network subscriptions. I don't know if they're actually trying to make these guys stars. Maybe TakeOver ticket sales are down because they're running the G1 that night. You have to question the motive here, because if you're talking about the actual story they're trying to tell on that show, it makes zero sense.
Could it just be simply punishment to the Revival for, tweeting every week about how they're miserable?
Yeah, I guess it could be. I mean,
well, then why are they on SmackDown too, though?
That's a great, yeah, never mind. It doesn't, yeah.
So
Yeah, they're not
we
the
wanna
only ones
punish-
losing.
We want to punish the Revival, so we're gonna, have 9 other guys job to these guys too.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
so next we have Charlie Caruso. She's in the back with Baron Corbin. He's wearing a nice pair of dress slacks, a dress shirt, and a nice vest.
You love that.
That drives Stames crazy. He brings it up on every show.
To AC, it makes no sense. The guy's not the GM anymore. Why isn't he in his wrestling tights? Did he lose them? Are they misplaced? Maybe he could explain that to me.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Maybe he's mad with the internet wrestling community talking about his weirdly shaped what do you call it? It's the fucking word I'm looking for.
What's weirdly shaped on him? I don't know.
Weren't they giving him a hard time about his belly button? Like he's got like that weirdly shaped.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I feel this was like when he first came up. That was like the big like stigma that he had. He has like an oddly shaped belly button.
Oh my god!
And you know what I mean? Like
yeah, it makes sense.
But that I'm telling you, this is what these internet wrestling fans, these smart marks, this is what bothers them. Oh my god! You know I mean he's not built like totally like Adonis because he has a little belly fat and a weird shape, belly button.
So was navel the word you were looking for?
I guess, yeah.
The innie outie, maybe he's got an outie innie, whatever.
I think it's in. I don't think it's an out. I mean, we haven't seen it in a while because he's so fashionably dressed.
Yes.
I believe it's more like the way is like he must have been heavier in his life. I'm guessing. So the way the skin is, it's almost like a line. It's hard to explain. You'd have to see it. But I remember seeing that was like the big bitch about him on the internet that, oh, look at that weird, whatever. So maybe that's why I want to cover my stomach so I don't have to hear that shit. Who knows?
Could be.
This segment. Go ahead.
This segment first was the first thing that I noticed. We said earlier that we were going to look for Prichard in this show. And this was the first thing I noticed because when they kicked it to Charlie, she actually commented on the match, which I never saw that. She never did that before. Usually they kick it over to her. Charlie's in the back with whoever. She asks the question and then holds the mic out. This time she was like, well, the Revival lose again. I don't know what's going on there, whatever the hell she said. And then she said, I'm with Baron Corbin. And I nearly fell over. Because it was just one of those little minor details, like if it was real, covering the sport of wrestling, that's what would happen, Yeah,
and the other thing that they did is during that tag team match, and we forgot to mention it, but when they came back from break, the Revival, the heel team, was on top, and Michael Cole did a reset. He actually told you what happened while they were away, which was not happening. So maybe that was Bruce Prichard too. So
continuity.
Did it seem to you guys that the interview with Baron Corbin, are they trying to set up a Roman Reigns Corbin match? Is that where Reigns is going to go first? Because there were some foul words there for Roman Reigns by Baron Corbin.
Well, they also later in the show you have the segment with Reigns and Corbin and others. So I mean, either that or are we going to see another Shield reunion and a 3-on-3 at Fastlane? I don't know. I honestly, it's harder. Sometimes you could get a really good read on where they're headed with things. And lately, I don't know, maybe because I didn't watch for a while and then I started watching again. And maybe because I'm caught in this weird spot where I don't know, do they care about Fastlane? Do they care about WrestleMania? Is Fastlane like the priority right now, or is WrestleMania the priority? It's very strange, and I think sandwiching all these pay-per-views together was a big mistake.
Hollywood, what about that? Putting the Shield together at Fastlane to wrestle, Corbin, Lashley, and McIntyre. Would Vince McMahon be okay with that, or would he be fearful of that click moment?
The click moment with Ambrose, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, if history has shown us anything, he should learn from history. But I think to sell Fastlane, they do need to do something. So, and I think that would be a good way to get Roman back in the ring during a match. Give him some help.
Where he doesn't have to carry a singles match.
Right. But to your credit, AC, I think maybe they're going to do both. Maybe they'll do 3-on-3 at Fastlane, and then coming out of that, you could still keep Corbin and Roman as
for
maybe
Mania.
An undercard match for Mania. Yeah.
Which I actually think is a wise move because Corbin is vastly hated.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
It'll
it
keep
keeps
Reigns
Roman in the
over.
baby. Yeah, it keeps
Yep.
him in that baby face over role. Okay, we saw Snoop Dogg. He looks like he's about 90 years old. From there, we go to Elias. He's in the ring. He's going to do the singing. Gets interrupted. He gets interrupted again. It's Dean Ambrose. What'd you think of the Ambrose segment with Elias?
Again, this is where I'm going to go here. I thought Ambrose was a heel. And to me, that was a babyface segment, right?
Yep.
If Elias is the heel, then Ambrose was the babyface there.
Yep.
And that, again, leads me to believe we're headed to a Shield reunion. But at the same time, they didn't really put them together yet. So in one story, they're telling you Ambrose is a heel because he's not with Roman and Seth right now. But then he comes out and does a total babyface on Elias, who's supposed to be the heel. It's just confusing. Like,
I don't want to skip ahead to that 3-on-3 segment again, but yeah, if you did notice, and this is further confusion because they went and made the save for Ambrose, but then at the end they were looking at Ambrose laying on the mat.
Yeah, I was actually texting you, Hollywood, with, hey, they forgot to pick up Dean and bring him back with
Right.
them. And right as I was texting him, they stopped and looked back at him, and I thought, oh, okay, they're teasing a little something there.
Right, so they may have planted the seed there, yeah.
Dean said that he was reminiscing about the past. You know, if you know what I mean, I think he said something like that when he
Yes.
talked to Elias. What is Elias? Is he a jobber? I mean, what is he? The guy is a big guy. I think he has some talent. Like the times that I've seen him in the ring, he's not bad at all.
and
I think the guy could be something if they booked him to be something.
he could talk.
Yeah.
He's a
And
great
it's
talker.
rare. It's you know what? He's starting to remind me of the Bray Wyatt stigma. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good,
But a guy
good comparison.
never went over, never won a match, was a great talker. Because he was a great talker, got a fan reaction, and they just never went all the way with him one way or another. And I think Elias is in the same boat.
Now, guys, I'm going to ask you this, and this is, again, we talked about this last week, and I'll talk about it one more time. With you two guys, is Lacey Evans, is she getting over with what she's doing here? Walking out, going down the ramp, and walking back. Is she getting over with you guys?
Not with me.
Not with me at all. I think it's hysterical that they made that time mistake at Royal Rumble, and now they just keep doing it. She walks down, she twirls, she walks back.
Okay, because I guess that's how they're trying to get her over. I don't know.
I would much rather, maybe let her have a microphone in her hand one time so I can figure out who the hell she is. Maybe that might be a good idea. I don't know.
So Natalia and Ronda Rousey, the baddest bitch in the world, going against the Riot Squad. Pretty decent match. Boy, I'll tell you what, guys, one thing I noticed, it seems to me like Natalia is starting to skip a beat. She seems to have lost a step in my book. You guys noticing that?
Yeah, I could see that.
I didn't see enough of the match move to move, but I don't know. She's been stale to me for
Very
a while.
stale, yeah.
And it's almost like I get why they have this friendship with her and Ronda, because she's like the OG, so to speak. So she's, bringing Ronda along and whatever. So I kind of get that, but at the same time, I don't know. I just think she's kind of still caught in the diva stigma a little bit, and also like, yeah, we've seen a lot of Natalia. And I'm not saying this is her fault at all, and this has nothing to do with her, but she was part of the bathroom break brigade for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people still remember that, and I think it's tougher to break out of that. Plus, like I said, I didn't watch the match move to move because I was still working, but I had the sound on. I took it as, from what I gather from the match, was she was just there to take a beating and keep Ruby Riott from getting destroyed by Ronda Rousey in 5 seconds again.
Well, there could be something to that.
Yep.
Of course, Becky comes down again, and we have the whole schmoz, and she gets, carted out of there after the two go after each other a little bit. Ronda calls out Vince McMahon. Instead, he gets Stephanie. A little bit of a back and forth there. Uh, Ronda lays down the belt and walks out. So it seems like push is going to come to shove here, and I guess this is how they're going to get Becky into this match. Would you agree?
Yep, definitely looks like that. This segment, I think the highlight was that they actually had police come down this time, and they actually had them put cuffs on her. So we've been asking for that for 2 weeks. Finally got that. And yeah, I don't know if I like I kind of liked, and I know it fits to the character of Ronda because she said, the belt has to mean something, so you can't just throw the number one contender out there and, let her go to jail. But at the same time, I don't want her getting she's going to get that transitional, that's what they're trying to do, to make Charlotte that heel. You know what I mean? They're trying to get some good heat on Ronda. I don't know if that's smart.
I don't think it is, and I think the reason is my biggest concern with this match is not how to get Becky into it. It's how to get Charlotte out of it. Oof. I don't think Charlotte should be in it. I know it's not going to happen. I know they're all in on this thing, pun intended. But but the thing is, I know they already lost their tailor-made, organic, hit you right in the face fucking story that would have worked great. I know they lost that. They'll never get it back. But at the same time, a few years ago when Daniel Bryan needed to get into the WrestleMania match, they found a way to make it happen. Maybe you get to a point where it's, all right, Becky, you think you're the baddest, SOB, freaking the man. All right, guess what? You're wrestling Charlotte Flair to open WrestleMania. And the winner of that match gets Ronda in the main event.
I'd go for that. That would be better.
I think that's something that...
I'd go for that.
It's a big spot for both of them. It's something they could live with more. But I want to ask you guys this. And because I heard most of what Ronda said. I didn't hear all of it. Did she mention Flair at all?
I don't think so.
Because I didn't hear it, and I didn't want to say she didn't and be wrong, but I don't think she mentioned Flair at all. So she's this it's me versus Becky. She's not saying I need to wrestle both of them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that's
I think Stephanie mentioned Flair, but I don't think Ronda did. I think only Stephanie did.
I think honestly, and I won't hate it if they do it, especially where they're at now. I think it makes more sense. I'd like to see that where it's like, all right, you want in? Ronda doesn't think either one of you deserve it, so win your way into that match. I think it could work.
Bro, I did like that when Stephanie got mad and reminded Rousey that she works for Stephanie, that Rousey made the statement that she is not one of Stephanie's workers. And then she went on to say that she's turning the title into a gaudy accessory that's not even my style. And then she laid that belt down. I like that. That was pretty edgy.
That's pretty good.
One thing I now that you just mentioned Charlotte was not at the birthday party, was she?
I actually thought, I didn't see her. I actually thought the show was going to end with Charlotte at the birthday party and Becky somehow evading police and going after her. And I was like, oh, please don't end this show that way. But thankfully, as we'll get to, other things happen.
All right, next we got Jinder Mahal out there with the Singh brothers, and I guess he's been relegated now to a jobber or enhancement talent. Would that be correct?
Looks like it.
Bro, I got to tell you, they got to get Kurt Angle out of the ring.
Yeah, it's time. He can't move. He can't move.
He looks bad. He can't.
He makes Natty look good.
Dude, he can't even turn his head. When he went into that ring for that birthday party segment, like everybody's hooting and hollering and smiling and having a good time. And Kurt Angle is looking straight ahead with a dazed look. I'm telling you, he looked to me like one of those guys in the wheelchair at the old folks home, like at the geriatric wing, where, they're just staying there until they die. I mean, seriously, he looks terrible, bro. Sting looked way better than him, and I think Sting's a little bit older than Kurt
A
Angle.
lot older.
Yeah.
He's a lot older. Sting looks better than Hogan too. Anyway, where was I going? I just lost my train of thought.
Angle, Jinder.
Oh, Angle. Sorry. We've all mentioned on this network in the last few weeks, like, how does Vince McMahon sit back there in Gorilla and be okay with this? Or how does he read this script and think this is okay? This guy's supposedly a genius or hires geniuses or whatever. How does Vince McMahon, and Triple H for that matter, watch Ric Flair walk to that ring week after week and think that this is good or think that this is what he should be doing there? I just don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like, I get he's Kurt Angle and like history. I love Kurt Angle. Don't get me wrong. I saw him wrestle Cody Rhodes in his steel cage a couple years ago. Cody carried him through that match. That was then. He looks even worse now. I know that I didn't like him as GM either, and they probably just don't know what to do with him. So they're like, oh, well, we'll run him out there in this Baron Corbin feud. I don't. Man, it's tough to watch sometimes though.
Hollywood, did you notice the two Germans that Angle gave to the Singh brothers? I mean, they looked like they could have hurt those guys. I mean, they weren't great. He didn't get a whole lot of height. He put them back right on their necks.
Oh, they're little dudes, but I think they can take it. They look okay.
I'm sure.
But this was another Prichard moment to me, just seeing Jinder. Haven't seen him in a while.
No, we haven't.
But
right.
At least he got on.
So is he, when he was the champ, he was SmackDown champ, right?
He was in SmackDown, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll tell you one thing about the Sings, though. I hear what you're saying, but after the beating that Randy Orton gave him, when he had
do you remember that
SmackDown feud with him, with Jinder, those guys can take a lot because Orton.
Yeah, he destroyed them sometimes.
Oh, it looked like, remember when Brock destroyed 3M Bree? It was worse. What Orton did to the Singh brothers was worse. Like, he wanted to end their lives.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So then we get Alexa Bliss.
Whew.
A moment of bliss.
Yummy.
Corey got a little upset there because
she's number 3 on my list. Number 3.
Ooh, okay.
Alexa was trying to see Finn Balor's abs, and she was going to show him something, but out comes Lio Rush, ruins everything. Didn't seem like Finn was really going for it with Alexa. Maybe that's not his style. I'm not sure there. Was he
I wonder why.
Weird you noticed that.
You probably like Leo more.
So Lio Rush comes out, and dude, I gotta say about Lio Rush for his size. Everybody's knocks on Lio Rush's size, and you heard Jim Cornette says he looks like a 12-year-old and all that. Dude, that guy's pretty good in the ring. He's pretty sound.
He's great.
In the ring.
He's great.
Jim Cornette didn't see any of his work on the Indies or ROH then, because I'll tell you what, Lio Rush can go. Lio Rush can go better than Finn Balor. And I was thinking watching that match.
In Cornette's defense, he did say you debut Ricochet, and there's. How did he put it? I think he said Corey Graves was saying, you will be prepared to be mystified or whatever. And then he said, and then you have the little manager, Lio Rush, keeping up with him the whole way. Go move for move, he said.
Yeah.
So he did kind of put him over there.
I've seen, I actually saw Lio Rush wrestle Ricochet. Saw him wrestle Flip Gordon. Saw him wrestle a lot of guys. Lio Rush is the WWE universe. I mean, I actually like his manager character too.
I think he should have more people. I would give him a whole whole Heenan family.
I like what he's doing. I like the thing with him and Lashley. Excuse me. And the thing is, you will probably never see his in-ring capability. And that was my fear when he signed there. And I know, Edwards, I told you this a million times. I've told other podcasters on other show this a million times. My fear with him going there was how small he actually is. Mm-hmm. I'm 5'7.5", and I was tall next to Lio Rush, all right? I have the picture to prove it.
So
I'm sure that's what happened too when Vince McMahon saw him. He probably right away said, well, he's not a wrestler, he's a manager.
Do you guys get the impression that this segment, now of course Finn Balor, that's pretty much what you're going to get from him. But Leo and Alexa, it kind of felt to me like this was not scripted, like line
I
for
thought
line.
I thought Alexa was about as good as she's been on that show.
Mm.
So, and I didn't know if that was why, because she was freed up a little from not having the script and was able to go out there and do her own thing. Again, if you just give them a couple of bullet points, hit this, this, and that, it makes it a whole lot easier than trying to tell them to remember line for line.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
A few months ago, or well, not a few, over the summer, before I stopped watching, she was hammering some great promos, in-ring promos. So I don't, like I said, I don't know if they were scripting her then, they were scripting her now, whatever, but she can talk. She definitely can talk. So I hope they give her freedom and let it be more of that than, the other way where everybody's searching for what word they're supposed to say.
Yeah.
so Finn gets the win, and after that, we see Tucker and backstage with the Ascension. And Ascension wants to know where Otis is, the little pig, and all of that. Any comments on that segment?
That was stupid. I'm done. I'll be honest with you. I thought it was stupid.
I'll take it one step further. I won't disagree, but I'll say it was an Ascension sighting, and again, that has to be a Prichard move because now all of a sudden we're getting a backstage segment with a guy that two guys that we've been screaming about, like, where the hell are these guys? Where's these guys? Where's these guys? Well, there they were. At least they had a little something,
So, are we going to see the Heavy Machinery like in a match? I mean, they seem to get on every show, but they don't wrestle a match.
Well, I'm interested to see if storyline continuity, even though it was a little bit in the back, I'm hoping next week on Raw that they have that match. So there'll be a reason for it.
Against the Ascension.
Yeah.
Okay. We go backstage. Bobby Lashley's backstage with Leo Rush. He's furious with Rush. He was supposed to get him the Intercontinental title match. Instead, he booked himself in a match. And now he's got to know if Leo Rush has his back, can he trust him? And he's got to go out there and fight Braun Strowman. And you guys saw the thing with Braun Strowman. I guess there wasn't really even a match. What do you guys think of this segment?
Again, I'll call it confusing. I know Braun Strowman's the monster. I don't know what he's the monster of because he never wins a big match, but
Roar!
and then
That's all.
You're making Lashley look like shit to get Braun Strowman to look like the monster again. But then Lashley, I think it was you guys who brought this up, like after he lost the Intercontinental title, 5 minutes later, he's out there with the trio or whatever they're calling them. And it didn't make any sense. Again, he's with the trio again tonight, 10 minutes after Braun Strowman destroyed him. Again, very confusing. It's just very confusing. That's the only way I can explain it.
Yeah, Lashley's been getting his ass handed to him a lot lately, hasn't he, Hollywood?
Which is crazy.
He, again, we've all been complaining, where was the anger? Well, we got it backstage tonight, 2 weeks later. But there it was backstage. And again, possible Prichard sighting in the writing, number 5 here, I think we're on. There he is in the back, chewing out Leo. Should have been done 2 weeks ago. They did it tonight. And then anyway, he goes out and gets the crap beat out of him anyway. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't think they know. I don't know if he's like a jobber in disguise or what, but I mean, the guy's obviously a star. Look at him,
There's no plan. He's a pro MMA fighter. There's nobody better to take on Lesnar than him. I maybe it was the crowd reaction when he first came back. I don't know. I don't even think you've seen as good as he can go because I was watching Impact.
Yeah.
When he was there.
Yes.
And dude, he was having tremendous matches. Like you could do a feud with him and EC3 right now, as Bobby Lashley being a babyface and EC3 being the heel. Now I know the smart marks in the crowd are all going to want an EC3. They're going to cheer for him, but you have to look past that, and you could get some great matches, and then people will be like, "Oh, holy shit, Bobby Lashley can go." You know what I mean? And actually see, let these guys work with some of these guys that could go, just so they're not you get these two big lugs in the ring together, and you're like, wrestle big, wrestle strong, and just beat the hell out of each other. And you don't realize, like, a lot of these guys are athletic enough to wrestle Leo Rushes and Finn Balor's and Ricochets. Yeah, they're not going to do all that crazy athletic stuff they do. And I'm never putting Balor in the category of Ricochet, but you get where I'm going with this.
Yep.
But they can go with those guys, be powerful, but also be athletic. And they have a lot of guys in NXT like that. Keith Lee and Dijak are two of them. And again, you just never know what they're going to do with any of these people.
Yep. And they're all like that. Baron Corbin has shown he can move like that.
He can go. He can go.
Drew can move. I don't know.
A lot of guys. You know what? They have a lot of talent. I think that's what makes it so frustrating.
Yeah.
Because I went back the other day and I watched Starrcade '97, and I was watching it and I was like, it's brought back memories and this and that, and like the way they sold that whole story throughout the show with the commentary, and you remember they sat like half the roster in the crowd because they were there for WCW taking the title back, and heels were sitting with baby faces, but it was about the company, and they told the whole story throughout the show, which I thought was really good. But I watched the match; every match was the same. All the moves were the same. The way they built the match was the same. It was very repetitive. And I was watching that show, and I was like, if any company put that on pay-per-view in 2019, they would have got murdered. You know what I mean? And you have all these talented athletes, and they haven't found a way to make that part of their story. They haven't found a way to utilize all that athleticism and talent, but still keep your storyline, but have a lot of entertaining things going on. The one thing that makes indie shows so attractive right now is there's a lot of entertaining matches that are there's a lot of entertaining things going on. There's not a lot of lows in the show. When you're at an indie show and you see a bad match, you can hear a pin drop. But then there's a great match before and after, and it's like going bananas. The problem is the majority of what they're putting on are pin drop. There's no reaction. Nobody cares. There's no investment, and there's no entertainment.
Was this the spot then where the Shield came? Where are we at here?
No, this is not that spot. This was just Strowman and Lashley.
Strowman. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That was Ambrose and Ambrose and who the hell was it?
See, here's where I'm confused.
Oh, Drew. Ambrose and Drew.
Here's where I'm confused with this Lashley Strowman thing. Bobby Lashley just lost the Intercontinental belt, and he didn't even get pinned. His manager got pinned. He's yet to get a rematch. It doesn't seem like they're setting up a rematch. And now it looks like they moved him into a feud with Strowman, because the way that thing worked out tonight, it almost feels like that's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, but just real quick, their new, I don't know if you guys have heard this yet, but their new storyline gimmick BS thing is that there is no automatic rematches if you lose a title. That's their new thing. I don't know if you heard that in the Shane.
Yeah, unless you're Shane McMahon, who can book it. Yeah.
Or like you brought up, the guy who loses the title match almost always gets a rematch, but the guy who actually loses the title can't. I mean, great job, guys. That's tremendous. Yes. I'll tell you.
But in this case, I mean, he didn't even lose it. Like, he didn't even get pinned. I mean, it was a gimmick match to start with. It reminded me to me, it's a head scratcher.
It reminded me of Brock and Rollins when Brock never brought up Rollins taking his title. And then when they went there for 5 seconds, they threw the story away to bring The Undertaker in. Right? I mean, it's like history repeating itself on a smaller level.
Yeah, I guess that could be true. All right, next we got Charlie Caruso backstage again, and she's got Seth Rollins with her.
Your favorite.
And Seth talks about the pep in his step tonight, and, it's fantastic. He's thinking about Brock Lesnar constantly, every minute of every day. Again, he's going to walk out of WrestleMania 35 with the championship, but that's all secondary because Roman Reigns is in remission, and it's time to celebrate Roman, and he's probably waiting with a cold beverage for him, so he's got to go. Limousine pulls up in the back, and woo! It's the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. High styling and profiling with his wife. I don't know, what is it, his fifth wife, Wendy Barlow?
I was going to say his seventh.
So, and then we move on to the no DQ match, Dean Ambrose and Drew McIntyre. And actually, match-wise, for a no DQ match, I thought they did pretty good. Comments?
I thought that the double belt from Ambrose was great. He takes the belt off. I actually looked at him, like I saw him go for it, and then I saw him pull his arm, and I thought, what the hell did he do? Did he fake taking his belt off? And then I saw, oh, wait a minute, he's got two belts on. That's fantastic.
Dude, and then for
but I was hoping he would take the other one off too.
Who authorized that second belt, pal?
Right, the second belt.
For her to say that, well, does he have two belts? It was great that she was the one that noticed that. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Graves goes, well, you dressed them, didn't you? She goes, no.
That was funny by Graves, by the way. So not a bad match at all, but we know how it ends. It ends with the Shield coming out. Well, first of all, of course, Lashley, first it's Elias with the guitar. He had to get even. Probably should have saw that coming, but I didn't. And then out comes Lashley and Corbin, and then we get the Shield. And we mentioned it earlier. I think there was a little bit of a tease there when Dean was in the ring recovering, and Rollins and Reigns were kind of looking back. It made me think that there was the possibility.
Here, I got two things with this, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on both. The first one is, again, Dean Ambrose, babyface, wrestling a heel, but they leave him in the ring. I'm going to assume the reason being is we can't trust Dean. But he's standing next to a guy who hit him from behind with a chair and broke up the Shield in the first place.
That's a hell of a point.
I know I'm getting a little deep with that. But I mean, listen, this is why you get weird with this stuff, because history actually, like, our memories are not that short. I know Vince's memory might be short because he's 90, but our memories are not that short. The second part of this, with Elias being there, and I'm gonna hate it, but I could see him doing it. The Shield with Strowman, and here's another one given the history between Roman and Strowman, versus the trio plus Elias. Man, yeah, I knew that would be your reaction, but can you not see them doing it?
I could see it.
No. Yeah,
I feel like they were in a room tonight and they were like, how do we get Braun Strowman on the show, and how do we make him look like a monster? Oh, we'll just have him bury Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't really have anything to call. I mean, you took it right there. Yeah. When I said, that was my comment. So.
Yeah. Expected reaction.
The Shield took care of those guys pretty quickly. Couple of Superman punches, a stomp. Of course, it's not a curb stomp anymore because it can't be a curb stomp. And then a spear. That's pretty much over.
It's the SJWs.
SJWs.
Everything I disagree with is the fault of the SJWs.
Back from the break, Bayley versus Nia Jax.
Yes.
Comments.
I think Edwards took it. All right, so I got a comment. The kid that was working with me tonight, server that was closing up. We're sitting there, we're watching the last I don't know, half an hour together, and he clearly not a wrestling fan, because I almost got the idea he didn't know that it was scripted. I won't use the F word. Mm-hmm. I don't think he knew that, so I was explaining it to him. And then he goes, why would anybody think that woman looks good in latex? And I'm like,
that's awesome.
And I was just like, well, what do I say? I was like, I think it's her gimmick. And he's like, what's that? So I was trying to explain what the gimmick is.
The only thing I have to say about this is it was, it's the 2-on-2, break it down into 1-on-1, whatever, filler match.
Yeah, Isn't it funny that they always do that? Like if it's a 1-on-1 feud, they put somebody else in it and make it a tag match all the time. But when it's actually a tag feud, then they do the single matches all the time.
It's lazy booking. That's what it's lazy. Yeah.
50,
and the 50-50. Yep.
Triple A. I mean, it's to me, it's another example of almost 50-50 booking. All right, you're gonna win one, they're gonna win one, and then we're gonna split you up. And your tag partner is going to beat his tag partner. But when you wrestle, you're going to beat his tag partner.
Because then when it's 2-on-2, you don't know who's going to win.
Whatever happened to, again, when you're trying to take stories that should be long and intricate and get people invested in, and you're trying to sandwich all these other shows in between, and not really book the show you should be booking for. This is what you get, because they don't want to build, like, let's say you have 2 teams going for a tag title. Dude, you guys remember how it used to be? That heel team would get some wins over other people. That babyface team would get some wins. They're on a collision course for each other. You get a run in one of them, but they still get the W. Then they start fighting again after the match. Or you keep them the hell away from each other. They don't touch each other for 2 weeks. Just cut a backstage segment, have their matches, and look strong.
That's the old
now
recipe.
It's got to be like, you got to. Now it's like they got to wrestle over and over and over and over and over. So it's like, I just saw him wrestle 8 times. Why is this exciting again? Because they're going to give you 5 more minutes in a match at WrestleMania, or it's under the bright lights and they have a better entrance. Like you said, it's lazy.
Yep.
It's confusing. It's lazy. It's not good. And Bayley and Sasha together, I'm sorry. It's terrible. It's terrible. The name's terrible. The whole idea is terrible. They should have had them. They had a perfect way back in a few months ago or a year ago. They had them basically, and this was always my problem with Sasha. She was sometimes kind of heelish and sometimes babyfacious, and she's causing Bayley to lose. She's bailing on Bayley in matches, and they never win all the way with it. And then he just like, okay, we're gonna hug it out, boss and hug, first tag team champions ever. Listen, Sasha, we're not gonna put you over Ronda, but don't worry, you're gonna win the Elimination Chamber and be the first tag team champ ever. It's like, it's almost like we're not doing this for you, so we're gonna do that for you. We don't care how we get there. That's just what it is. You can just see it. Nobody will convince me that's not what they're doing, because there's nothing in between.
And not only that, then we're going to send you down to NXT to defend those titles. Isn't that great?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Hollywood, back in AC brought up a great point. Back in the day, and I know this is a very old-timey idea.
Oh, very old-timey. Can't wait to hear it.
But when they used to put either those individual wrestlers or those tag teams on that collision course, and you never saw them wrestle each other until that big pay-per-view event, didn't it mean so much more than at the time? I mean,
I could still remember. I think it was, and this is going to sound such a marky thing to say, but I'm pretty sure it was SummerSlam 88 or 89. But the Strikeforce Demolition, dude. When Demolition finally came down in the hoods and the vests and the music, when the music hit, I remember watching that as a kid going, oh my God, it's finally here. That was the feeling and the thought I had, because they kept them apart.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like AC was saying, you'd have the Demolition promo in the back, the Strikeforce promo. They'd wrestle, but they wouldn't wrestle each other. They'd win, they'd win, and then that collision course happened.
Yeah, and they would both win big. They would both stay strong, and you didn't know what to expect. Who were they going to put over? You never knew.
Yep.
It was so much more fun.
Yep.
What if they led up to WrestleMania 6 with Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior wrestling each other 12 times?
Yeah.
Do you think that match would have been as big? No, there's no chance. There's no chance.
What if Hulk and Andre would have wrestled 8 times before
Right,
the
same.
main event of
Exactly.
WrestleMania 3?
It's the same thing. It's almost like those Austin Rock matches. Those matches were so special because Rock and Austin didn't wrestle all the time together.
Mm-hmm.
They had their run-ins, and sometimes they were booked in different stories. Sometimes they're booked in the same story. Rock's the heel, Austin was the heel, which was terrible, but whatever.
Terrible.
But you get what I'm saying is those matches were special because you only got to see them wrestle those few times.
Yep.
And I think honestly, that's one of the things that's made the Undertaker's WrestleMania matches so special up until the last few years was you only saw him once a year. And you see him wrestle all these crazy matches. And then they started bringing him back more and more, and even the WrestleMania stuff got stale. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Do you guys remember the feeling when the bell rang and Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan were face to face, about a foot or two between them, and the fans are going nuts, and Hulk's just looking from side to side into the crowd. You could see him. He's just looking, and the fans are just going nuts because up to that point, the only time they touched each other was when Andre pulled the necklace off of Hulk.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Great
It
stuff.
it brings a different feel into the fight. It really does.
And your point about them just sitting there looking at the crowd, I literally, I think it was yesterday or this morning, was watching. For some reason, I just decided to watch WrestleMania 30 because I wanted to watch that opening segment again with Hogan, Austin, and The Rock, and they all played to the crowd. But The Rock comes out, does this thing, he gets in the ring, just grabs the microphone and looks up in the air, and the place went bananas. And it's like there isn't a guy they have right now that could do that.
No.
Now, I like Reigns. He can't do it. There's nobody. Ambrose, Rollins, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, any of the girls, none of them could pop a crowd just with that. They just don't relate to the crowd like these guys did. And I don't mean relate to them like, most of the people in the crowd don't look at themselves. First of all, they all look, Hogan's 90 and he looks like $1 million. The Rock, what was he, 47 when he was in the ring? Looked like he was 22 and just ripped. Even Austin looked fucking great. They're big, huge guys. Those were like when we used to watch wrestling as a kid, it was like you're watching these huge athletes, bigger guys than you'd ever seen, like NFL type players and humongous guys, and they're bigger than life. And now you see some of those guys, and then you see all these midgets coming around. And they're not midgets, but at the same time, in that realm, they're midgets.
Right.
And it's just very strange. Like when Gargano and Ciampa were standing next to Sheamus and Cesaro,
Yes.
it was like men against boys.
Yeah.
And I'm almost like, I know they're going to win, but Cesaro and Sheamus should fuck them up. That's like Balor versus Lesnar. I'm like, come on, man. Like, really? You're never going to sell me that Finn Balor could beat Brock Lesnar. Never. Even before he went to the UFC.
Where are we at with Prichard?
Where are you at with Prichard?
What's the next segment?
Last segment.
Oh, this is the end. Oh, okay.
This is it. The birthday party.
I thought there was something else in there. Okay.
We see the
That was EC3. Oh, wait.
Maybe I was hoping that EC3 was in there.
It was the United States champion, R-Truth. Oh, wait.
Did you guys see that EC3 did wrestle tonight? I read he was taped for the main event. EC3 was on the main event. So
he's got to love that the other
He's
NXT
probably-
call-ups.
He's probably texting Cody like, thanks for the fucking heads up on AEW, bro.
Yeah, probably.
no, dude, EC3 has nobody to blame but himself. He's been there. He knows what went on.
But he signed before the AEW thing. I mean, had he known that, he probably wouldn't have went. But I know what you mean. He's been there before.
Mm-hmm. He should have known. He should have known.
And Joe Koff should know too. get on the horn with New Japan and be like, we need this guy.
Yeah.
Let's pony up the cash. At some point, ROH do something. I heard you guys talk about that too.
Yes.
But anyway, that's a story for another day.
So we go to the ring, and Triple H is talking about all the great things that happened tonight because things amp up.
Oh, hey, before you say this, I just wanted to add really quickly. When they went to commercial, they showed that spot with Triple H in the back leading the charge.
Yes.
Him and Stephanie and Braun behind them and stuff. I just thought that was a cool little thing that you don't see all the time. They teased it, to come back because, oh, here we go. It's party time.
It was pretty cool. That might have been Prichard too again. You know?
Yep.
I'll tell you what, something else I forgot to mention that I thought was pretty cool too was when Lashley was tearing Leo Rush's ass up. It was right there at the curtain, right before he came out.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool too.
Yep.
I like that. That was a nice little touch.
Mm-hmm.
So Trips comes out and everything's ramped up because of Mania, and Ronda laid the belt down. I don't know why he would brag about that, but he did. Roman's back. Welcome back, Roman, and all of the rest of it. And of course, then Stephanie takes over, announces all the people. And dude, it's funny because after we saw what happened in the end, all these people that came for Ric Flair's birthday party, they came for nothing essentially. But Shawn Michaels gets introduced. Were you guys surprised at all that Shawn was introduced first? That they usually would say that they would save the best for last, quote unquote, and Sting got that honor actually. Shawn went first, then Ricky the Dragon, Kurt Angle. I don't know how he got in there, but he did. And finally Sting.
Well, I would say Prichard wrote that too, because if that was Vince, it would have went Sting, Steamboat, Angle, then Shawn.
Yep, I agree.
I'm serious.
Where was Orton? Where was Orton?
Yeah. Where was Orton?
I mean,
he's busy on SmackDown though.
That's right.
I forgot. Their brands are separated.
Right.
I forgot. Oh. How dare me forget that? Oh my God! How did I forget such a?
I don't know,
thing?
Dude. I do it all the time, and he reminds me. Or no, here's my thing. I'll say two guys, and I'll say they're on this brand, and then Hollywood will say, no, actually, they're on the other brand. So, okay, so Stephanie says, here he is, the GOAT, the greatest in our eyes, blah blah blah, Ric Flair, and nothing, no Ric Flair at this. Bro, how about it? Hollywood, we're texting on the thing, and what did I text to you?
Yep,
what did I say was going to spoil the party?
I have to give you props.
All that.
Q can attest to it also, because he was in the text. But yes, you called Dave Bautista, and what was my response?
You said, oh, wait, so what? Dave and Rick are on the outs. I didn't know they were on the outs.
I said, what'd I miss? Like I was trying to make a dick out of you for saying Batista. Turns out I'm an idiot.
So he's dragging a cameraman around, and then he goes into Ric Flair's locker room, and he drags him out of there. So what do you guys make of it? Because for a while there we heard that Triple H probably wasn't going to be cleared for WrestleMania medically. Didn't he tear like a biceps or something, or triceps, or wasn't there some kind of pectoral, some kind of injury?
I thought he
that
had something. AC?
Well, he's an SJW and going to use his injury to get himself over. No, honestly, I didn't hear anything.
I thought it was maybe at the Saudi Arabia show or during that time period. I
think he did get hurt on that show. That's true.
Okay.
I think I did hear that actually.
Maybe he got cleared and he's going to be all right. But it looks like Dave Bautista is back. Are you guys surprised that they're bringing him back as the heel?
I'm not surprised, nor am I upset about it. I think after the last run, I think that's what he wanted. I know he wanted to come in as a heel last time, which would probably be better for him. But also in his defense, when he came back last time, that guy worked like a full schedule. He was doing house shows, wrestling he was on every Monday night. Probably Tuesday nights too at the time. We redid Evolution, the whole thing, and all you heard was, Batista wore blue. Why? Oh, that outfit's ugly.
Yeah.
Why didn't Roman Reigns Why didn't Roman Reigns? I'll repeat. Why didn't Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble? Because nobody ever cheered for Roman Reigns. God damn that Batista! He stole that Rumble.
That's great. That's great.
You guys, actually, you know what? That's why McMahon thinks they all have short-term memory, because they lose their minds weekly, apparently.
I thought the segment was. I thought it was so refreshing, man. And again, Prichard, I gotta think he wrote this show because, my God, we've been screaming for backstage stuff and outside of the arena stuff. How refreshing was that to see him dragging the cameraman over to the door, slamming the door, he comes with Ric Flair and he's screaming his head. Dude, I thought it was so refreshing. And then they could have just ended it there, but they didn't. They had Triple H run from the ring out to the back and they followed him. Dude, that's the stuff they have to be doing. If they keep doing more of that, we're not going to see repetitive match after repetitive match after repetitive match. They need to do that kind of stuff.
Watching that unfold and have it end, I actually said to myself, I want to see what happens next week. Mm-hmm. And I don't know when I've said that about that show in a long time.
It's true.
So to put credit where credit's due, although there's still a lot of confusing stuff, we've been through it. The show ended with me saying, I want to know what happens next week. I got to give them, like, they went somewhere with that, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, think about this, Hollywood. When's the last time you watched Monday Night Raw and it ended in a cliffhanger where they didn't tell you what was happening?
I couldn't tell you.
I guess last week because we didn't know whether the show was over or not. We weren't sure.
Right. Michael Cole never signed off, so yeah.
So we were like, "What is it over? Are we done?" Well, we knew once the next show came on. What's that show with the family, the big family?
A Modern Family.
Modern Family.
Yeah, that came on.
So are they not allowed to go over anymore? Did I miss something?
Yeah, they haven't done that run over in a long time. That overrun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. There were times you didn't know, if Raw was ending at 11:05, 11:15, 11:03, 11:07.
11:30. When Rock was there were times it went to 11:20, 11:30.
Yeah. I kind of liked that, but if we're gonna get this, where you at least say, "Damn, I want to see what happens next week," I could live with that.
Major improvement this week. Major, I think.
Yeah, the show was so much better than the last couple of weeks. It's not even funny. But boy, oh boy, there's a lot of
degrees of bad level. I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4 only because Ambrose, Lashley.
Yeah, you still had.
I think there was holes in the middle of the show. Beginning was great, ending was great. Some very good stuff in between, but there was also some head scratching stuff. But step in the right direction. We'll give it a degrees of bad level 4.
Okay, I'm going to go a little higher. I'll go degrees of bad level 5 because of the cliffhanger.
No, 5 is you're going in the wrong direction. Degree.
Oh, okay, your scale goes the... Okay, so I'm going 3 then.
10 being the worst, 1 being the best.
Oh, okay, wait. Maybe I don't want to put it up that high then. Because 3 is pretty high on your scale then.
I gave it a 4. I think a 4 is a good
I think
review.
4 is fair then. General Stames, how do you look at that? I like this scale.
I thought the show was weak I thought it was strong from the start to about 9:15, and then there started to get. That's when the weakness started to come in, and there were some head scratching stuff there. I'm not a fan of the Bailey Sasha thing, and I know the Marks are. I know the SJ Dubs are. Sorry, get over it. Just not into it. They're not interesting. All right, they got to do something interesting. Hold my interest. Yeah, but they're women. It's the women's evolution. Yeah, that's not enough for me. All right, do something interesting. All right, I think your 4 is probably pretty accurate. I don't think I would go any higher. I think I'd leave it right there. I'm not going to kill this show. I'm not going to kill this show like we've done the last couple of weeks.
This system could. AC, you gotta market this a little bit. This could be like the Meltzer star rating.
I know. I literally did it a couple weeks ago, and I went away from it, and I was sitting here listening to us talk, and I'm like, I should give this a degrees of bad rating. So tune in the next few days for the SmackDown Degrees of Bad rating.
Now listen, you got to be a real geek about it though, like Meltzer. I'm sure Meltzer has like a file cabinet filled of all the matches throughout history with the stars. So you're gonna have to go back and grade every single wrestling show that's ever happened in the history of wrestling.
Yeah, I'm a more futuristic type of guy.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just stick with grading the future.
So I just want to read you guys.
I actually have to work and not watch wrestling shows every day.
Oh, okay.
Two comments here. The two out of the top three comments, first three comments here after reading all the stuff that happened at Raw. First one, even with the cancer work to get him over, he's still boring, suffering succotash. Okay, that's the first one.
Why did they ever make him say that line?
I know.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
And then the third comment is just watch the birthday celebration, and Batista was completely gassed after dragging a 70-year-old man.
Come on.
20 feet.
Batista will kick your ass, you fucking mark.
Listen now. Batista was completely gassed after dragging a 70-year-old man 20 feet. It sucks that they sacrificed Ric Flair's 70th birthday for a one-off match of something we've already seen at Mania before. There you go.
That's how you get heat on somebody, you idiot, Mark. Now you hate Batista. See, it worked. Idiots. I
don't like the gas comment, but I agree with what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna get him. He's gonna get him heat. The only problem is, I don't know if Triple H is the right baby face for him to go against, but.
Well, Triple H will do the right thing.
Why can't he smash Balor? Oh yeah, I'm sure Triple H will put him over. How many matches has Triple H lost in a row at WrestleMania?
It seems like he's been doing it quite a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it actually does. Now that I think about it, he has been putting guys over. Well, who was last year?
Who do you?
I can't remember. Well, didn't he? When is it the last guy he beat was Sting?
Sting
right?
was his last one, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, he put all the other guys over except for Sting.
Did he put Rollins over in the past?
Yes. Yeah.
Years?
That was 32.
Okay.
He put Daniel Bryan over the 1 year.
So he put that was at 30. 31 he beat Sting. No, 32 he put Roman over.
Roman, that's right.
For the title. And then 33, that was Rollins.
Was last year, was that when him and Steph put Ronda over?
Yes. That was last year's match.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so he has. So maybe he would put Batista over here.
Oh, I think they have to.
He could be looking at that like he's due for a win, though. You know what I'm saying?
He got his win against Sting. Stop it. I'm still pissed about that.
Is it Sting like 0-2 in WWE?
Yeah.
Yes.
He lost to Rollins too.
Yes, we had that conversation too. All right, boys. So that's the show. So we're not killing a Monday Night Raw. It's nice to be able to say that.
Yep.
And we have some. We have an eye toward next week already. So hopefully tomorrow night on SmackDown there will be nothing said from Dave Batista as to why.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that just waits till next Monday night.
That's got to be a Monday storyline. Let the Daniel Bryan Kofi thing lead SmackDown.
Yes.
Now, before you get out of here, AC, I do want to ask you one question regarding tomorrow. The report is that tomorrow night on SmackDown, Cesaro is going to wrestle Gargano. And in Cesaro's corner will be Sheamus, and in Gargano's corner will be Ciampa.
I saw that, and didn't we just talk about this very thing? So, yeah, I got none for you. Poor Cesaro, because you already know where this is going.
Yep.
They gave you a taste of it tonight with Black and Ricochet.
Well, my problem with it is that the part of Ciampa being in Gargano's corner after the NXT tapings. It seems silly to me. It doesn't make the WWE kind of ROH-ish in that respect.
Yeah, I think I mean, if they were gonna do all this, why did they put him in a Dusty Rose Classic again? Because that wouldn't have been filmed if they weren't in it. You know, they could have held that back. My guess is the NXT people didn't want to put them back together. And this was done for the main roster for a reason no one of us can comprehend. I just don't understand it. If anybody watched their feud break down over a year and a half, oh man, it just ruins it for me. And it was so great too. It was so great. Yeah, I don't know. I got none for you, man. It doesn't make sense to me. If you wanted to bring up a team of guys to whip some ass, why did you just bring up Undisputed Era? At least those four banding together would have made sense.
That makes a hell of a lot more sense.
Plus, what factions do they have? They have this made-up trio, you know, and maybe you have the Shield. Don't at some point, when do you have a faction? Like you guys said, Leo Rush, why doesn't he have more clients?
Vince isn't really sold on factions.
Clearly. Clearly, that's why he has like 9 Bullet Club members that never talk to each other.
Well, bro, listen. I don't know if you noticed, but tonight when Balor came out, when they were playing his music, he was going for into the match. Michael Cole actually said, "Balor Club is in the house." That one guy, Finn Balor, is now Balor Club.
Well, I think their premise is the club's the fans.
The fans are because
you remember last year. Right. Remember when we went ballistic last year because he did the Balor Clubs for Everyone rainbow shit at WrestleMania last year. Mm-hmm. Remember when we all went nuts about it?
Yep.
Like
SJ
that.
Dubs.
Well, but the point with all that was like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, are they trying to? Yeah. So you get mad at Roman Reigns for quote unquote talking about his real life, but it's okay for Balor to wear a gay pride flag and say his club's for everyone, and it's all like it's 2018, man. You know what I mean? It's okay now, right, bro? Why are you racist? Why are you MAGA?
That's great. Why are you MAGA?
I'm very careful.
Why'd you beat up that poor gay black guy from Empire in Chicago?
Just
you gotta be very careful, Harry. Sierra. We're gonna have to change channels. Okay. So.
I'm done. I don't want to be Alex Jones off of you.
Right.
So
AC Jones.
Just hit 90,000 algorithms. They're gonna listen to the whole show now.
Well, guys, before we get out of here, let's tell the fans that they can go ahead and comment. Right?
They can.
Drop
Yes.
us a comment.
Mm-hmm.
We'll happily answer any questions. Let us know what you think about Monday Night Raw this week, the first show for Mr. Bruce Prichard. Did you see his signature in there at all, and did you like what he did? Let us know. I thought the show was, like we said, better than it has been. I love the beginning and I love the ending, and I'm looking forward to next week. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
After Monday Night Raw.
Stames, I'm not sure if Hollywood had told you this, but I actually got a DM from a fan.
Oh, nice.
I got a DM from a fan who's, I guess, in the business, and he said he liked what we were doing and he wants to come on. So maybe we'll have a guest down the road here.
Awesome. That would be awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right, you guys got anything else?
Nope.
No, I'm good.
At Blading for Truth on the Twitter, at AC Cooldown. You can find me at DJ Staves. And then we got the Electric City Saint. He is at Steamtown Stunner
with an A.
Not an
with
R.
an A.
Not an R.
Until next time, folks, we are out of here.